Ladies and gentlemen, it is less than a month until college football, and you know what that means. Today, we're going to be going over the 2023 Ole Miss football schedule. Last year, they did go a record of 8-5. They started off their season 7-0, which is really impressive, and then they lost to LSU, and then they beat Texas A&M, and then lost their last four, including their bowl game. I feel like if Jackson Dart can stay and improve over this offseason, then they could be a little bit of a better team, but we'll just have to see. So starting week 1, September 2nd, you have Mercer traveling to Oxford at Ole Miss. This should be an obvious pick right here. This is Mercer. I feel like Mercer gets like an SEC opponent every single season. Like last year they had Auburn, and then in 2021 they had Alabama, and so now they get the chance to play Ole Miss. So this will be really interesting. I do obviously have Ole Miss to win this one. Ole Miss is a SEC team. They're going to beat every FCS team they come across. SEC teams do tend to do that. And then in week 2, you have Ole Miss traveling to Tulane in New Orleans. Now, this is a very interesting game that I don't see a lot of people talking about. This is a big, big game. Like, this is at Tulane in New Orleans. Tulane just won the Cotton Bowl, defeating USC. This will be in Tulane. This one's gonna be a really this game was really hard for me to pick. I'd been sitting here for days thinking about this, and I think I'm gonna pick Ole Miss. I think Tulane is a great team. I really want to see them win, but I think Ole Miss is just gonna come out of this one with the W. I mean, it's a SEC team versus a Group 5 team. Those usually don't mix well for the Group 5 teams, so give me the Rebels in week 2. And then in week 3, you have Georgia Tech coming to Oxford at Vaught Hemingway Stadium, September 16th. Georgia Tech and Ole Miss should also be a really good game. This is a ACC and SEC matchup. Last season, Georgia Tech went 5-7, not great. And in 2021, they went 3-9. So they are slowly improving. Give me Ole Miss to win this one and start out their season 3-0. This should be a good game as it is with the two conferences right next to each other, SEC and ACC. Do give me Ole Miss. And then week 4, September 23rd, you have Ole Miss traveling to Alabama. And this is the Alabama Crimson Tide we're talking about here. These two teams did play last year, and then Alabama ended up winning 30-24, so only a 6-point win. Give me Alabama here. This is Alabama we're talking about. It's been a good minute since Ole Miss has beaten Alabama, and I just don't see Alabama losing a game to the likes of Ole Miss. The only games I see Alabama losing are to LSU and maybe another team. And then in week 5, we have LSU and Ole Miss. Now, this is going to be a very interesting game, that's for sure. But I do, if you checked my LSU predictions, I did have Ole Miss winning this one. I think they shock everyone. I think just due to the fact that it's going to be in Oxford, I think those fans are going to be crazy. It's a top-tier team with a possibility of winning that's not named Alabama. And I think that they're going to shock the world. I think this is going to be only LSU's only loss over the season. If they lose a second one, it will be to Alabama. But do give me Ole Miss to shock LSU in a big upset. And then the next week you have Arkansas and Ole Miss. Now this one's also a mix-up for me because I really like how Arkansas is getting a lot of hype coming into this season. But I feel like it's a little overhyped. Do give me Arkansas to beat Ole Miss here, though. I think that they're a good team, but I think that they're going to win some games they shouldn't, lose some games they shouldn't. But I think in this one, Ole Miss might be the slightly better team, but I do think Arkansas comes into Oxford and shocks everyone and wins this one. And by the way, for the people that are saying that I can't base a prediction based off just because I think, yes, I can. That's why it's called a prediction. So, okay. Then you have a bye week, and then you have October 21st. You have Ole Miss traveling to Auburn. And in this one, I do have Auburn to win this one. Auburn with a new first-year head coach in Hugh Freeze. They didn't do so hot last season because of Brian Harsin, but they did finish strong, I guess you could say, with Cadillac as the coach. I really think that Auburn will be a way better team. And even with like a crappy Auburn team, I wouldn't say they struggled. They only won by 2 touchdowns, but they also still allowed 34 points to Auburn last season. Give me Auburn to win this one. And then on October 28th, you have Vanderbilt traveling to Ole Miss. Poor Vandy. I feel like we always bully on Vandy every single season. It really makes me feel sad because they're like the little bro of the SEC. I feel like they get too much hate. Give me Ole Miss to win this one. It's Vanderbilt. It's nothing. It's nothing. Give me Ole Miss. Then November 4th, we have Texas A&M and Ole Miss. This one also, I think, will be a pretty interesting game, as a lot of people disagree with how I think Texas A&M will do this season. But I do have Ole Miss beating Texas A&M. I don't think Texas A&M will be any good. I think they'll be slightly worse. I think that they're going to fire Jimbo Fisher. Cry all you want, Texas A&M fans. You can fill up my comments with all your hate comments, and just say unbelievable stuff about me. It's not going to change the fact that your team's bad. Give me Ole Miss to win this one. And then November 11th, you have Ole Miss traveling to the #1 Georgia Bulldogs. Oh my God, Georgia's going to absolutely destroy them. Give me Georgia for this one. This is going to be a murder, and murder is an understatement. And then on November 18th, you have the University of Louisiana Monroe traveling to Oxford. This is another one of those Group 5 teams that nobody expects to beat an SEC team. Give me Ole Miss to win this one. It's a small nobody team. And then in the last week, in the Egg Bowl on Thursday, on Thanksgiving, November 23rd, Mississippi State and Ole Miss in Starkville. Now, these two teams did play last year, and Mississippi State won by 2 points in a really, really good game. I think a lot of people should have paid more attention to this game. Mississippi State did win, and that was in Oxford. This season will be in Starkville. Give me Mississippi State, but by a little bit more than 2 points. Give me State by 5 or 6 points. And that'll, I believe, will finish the record of 7-5. If it's not, fix that in editing myself. But I think that there is maybe 2 mix-up games, Auburn and Arkansas. There's a possibility of finishing 9-3, 8-4, or 7-5. But just in my mind, 7-5. But I think 8-4 is more reasonable. So question mark 8-4. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please leave a like below if you enjoyed it. Follow my Twitter and Instagram. The names are in the description below. And I'll see you guys for the next video.